The other day, I was having a conversation with my friend. We were talking about how so many of us, especially in our generation, feel like we're being left behind, especially the people who I would say are objectively doing really well. We were told our 20s were supposed to look a certain way, feel a certain way, but almost no one I know is actually having that experience. It got me thinking, why do so many of us feel like our 20s are just wrong? Like they're not happening how we were told they were. My first thought was social media, right? It's the easy blame for everything. So many people online are grind set bros or productivity moguls who are just pushing some idea of what success looks like. And by defining ourselves off of what these people say success looks like, it's easy to feel like you're being left behind. There's also the idea of expectations. For 18 years, when you're going through high school, you have this idea of what your life's going to look like. Maybe you wanted to go straight out of high school into college. Maybe instead of doing that, you wanted to go into trade school, learn a skill, or you just wanted to go straight into the workforce. Whatever it was, you had some expectation of what your life was going to look like once you got out of high school. And maybe nowadays that expectation isn't meeting up with what you thought you were going to be doing. I know I'm certainly not doing what I thought I would be doing whenever I was 18, and now I'm 22. So there was also that. But I think the real answer lies in this mindset shift that our generation has had. We are really the first generation that has been online for most of our lives. We're the first ones who have gotten to see what the entire world looks like, everything that there is to offer for our literal entire lives. I don't remember a point whenever I couldn't search up what the capital of India looked like, or do a Google Street View of literally almost anywhere in the world. It's created this weird paradox where we have all of the information available to us, every resource ever created, and yet we don't actually know how to use any of it. It's like giving a 5-year-old $1 million and telling them to use it to the best of their ability to make a good life. Well, a 5-year-old with $1 million is probably not going to spend that very well. They don't know what they're doing with it. We have more resources than we've ever had, and yet we aren't being taught how to use them properly. I think that's a large part of why so many of us feel left behind. We look on social media and we see people who are taking advantage of resources and are doing things that we want to be doing, and yet we have no idea how to do them. It doesn't matter though, because they're just like us. They're just people. And so the feeling of comparison is just natural. Why wouldn't I look at someone who's my same age making millions of dollars off of YouTube by just playing games, and yet I'm struggling to do the exact same thing? Why shouldn't I compare myself to them? It makes sense to look at the people around you and go, oh, well, if they can do it, so can I. But that's not a realistic understanding of how skill and talent works. Things take time. The people who got where they are now usually didn't get there just off sheer luck. Usually it's a combination of time, skill, and effort. Another thing is expectations. I've said this before, but if you go into something expecting yourself to be great at it right off the bat, and then are disappointed whenever it takes time to actually get good at it, then you're going to constantly be disappointed in life. And this isn't to say that you shouldn't be like happy that you're trying something new, but it takes time. So much of what has made my experience in my 20s not what I was expecting has been solely based off of expectations. We try and set an ideal for what our future is going to be, but we don't know what that looks like. None of us have any information on that. We've never done it before. I've never been 22 before. And when I turn 23, it'll be my first time doing that as well. The idea that we need to know exactly what it is we're going to do and have this exact roadmap for where we're going with our lives is a lie, and honestly, it's just so damaging. I mean, it is unnatural to try and force yourself into a decision that you made when you were 18, which I'm making a video on this right now, but the fact that you have to choose like the path of going into college when you turn 18. When I was 18, I was an idiot. Why would someone trust an 18-year-old with the power to ruin their lives with loans that they don't even understand? That, like, they don't even know. Anyway, I'm making a video on this right now. It is frustrating. But to get back to the topic at hand, our 20s feel wrong because we spent our whole lives idolizing this version of ourselves that never existed. You were 16 looking at yourself when you were 20 saying, oh, well, here's all of the possibilities of what I could do in my life. How are you supposed to know which one you're going to take? You don't have enough information. You've never done it before. I think a better idea of your 20s would come from not looking too far into the future and not holding too closely to the ideas of the past. Instead, taking an approach where you look at where you are now and grow from there. This is something that I have struggled to do for years, but if you can let yourself be in the moment and find the joy, the wonder, and the awe from this time in your life, then maybe it's possible to start feeling a bit more connected with our 20s. I know I would like to, because the past few years of switching between jobs and trying to find what's going to be the right thing for me. Oh, maybe I could be a businessman. Maybe I could be an entrepreneur. Maybe I could do all these things, when in actuality, I wasn't listening to myself. I was just doing what I thought everyone else wanted me to do. I feel like so many of us get stuck in this trap where you keep going based off of all these ideas you had when you were younger and what everyone around you is doing, and these versions of success that aren't what you actually want, but is what everyone's telling you to be. It's beyond damaging and just tears away any ability you had to connect with yourself. The only person that matters is the ones who are dependent on you, which is primarily you. If you don't have kids, you don't have a significant other, if it's just you, then the only person that ultimately is going to what is ultimately going to matter when you're making these decisions is yourself. When you're trying to make decisions based off how everyone else feels, you're just completely disregarding what matters to you. I have struggled with this for years, and for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm finally making decisions based off of what I want, what I think success is, instead of what I think everyone else is going to look at and say, he's successful. He knows what he's doing. None of that matters. If you're not happy with where you are in life, then it doesn't matter how successful everyone around you thinks you are. You're not successful. You're just following the crowd. I say all this knowing that it is very difficult to throw off the shackles of expectation. But understanding who you are and what you want is the first step in actually learning how to find what is going to make your 20s worthwhile. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. Not everyone has to know what they're going to do every step of the way, and you don't need to know that either. Instead, just figure out what you want to do next. Or if even that's too much, focus on today. Find a moment today where instead of doing what you think everyone around you wants you to do, instead of grinding, instead of building on these expectations you've built for yourself, do something you actually want to do. Go on that walk in the park. Find a passion project. Start writing that book. Do something that is going to make you feel worthwhile. And yeah, partying's great, and trying to outdrink your buddies when you're at a club, like these are great things, but trying to find meaning in your life, moving past the ideas that you've set up for yourself and these unrealistic expectations. I've said that word so much in this video, but it's so true. Moving past them and finding out what makes you happy is going to matter way more than anything else you could possibly do in this life. if you can be happy with yourself, if you can find what makes your life worthwhile, everything else will come naturally. Wow, I feel like I was talking more to myself there than anyone else. If you enjoy this video, feel free to like and subscribe. I know that's a YouTube cliche, but padding for time here. I am working on a new format of video. It should be coming out next week if everything holds according to plan. It's going to be a bit different than the content I've been doing. I'm trying to shift away from the unscripted kind of guy yelling into a mic while playing Minecraft videos to slightly more investigational style, I would say. I don't want to give up too much on it, but it does hit on some of the topics we covered here. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, feel free to subscribe. That will be coming out next Friday, and from now on, there will be a video coming out every Friday. So thanks. See ya.